What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Christian Corey. You see the title and the thumbnail in today's video. Today, I'm going to tell you how Major League Baseball can make rivalries relevant again. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, if you're like me and you love sports, you love rivalries, you love to watch rivalries, whether it's in baseball or other sports, because rivalries are relevant in basically every sport there is. Whether it's baseball, basketball, football, hockey, soccer, whatever, you name it, there are rivalries in all those sports that fans love. Baseball, obviously, there's a couple. Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers, Padres, Dodgers, Giants, Cubs, Cardinals, and Astros, Rangers, just to name a few. And in other sports, like hockey, there's the Red Wings, the Maple Leafs, the Canadiens. Football, you got the Bears, you got the Lions, or you got the Bears, you got the Packers, whatever it may be, whatever rivalry there is in whatever sport, you love to see it. And I love rivalries, and I think Major League Baseball needs more rivalries in their sport to help the sport grow. I have a way, a method, an idea, a solution for Major League Baseball to go ahead and make these rivalries relevant again. And creating some new rivalries that I always thought were there due to the way the divisions were set up never came to fruition and never allowed the rivalry of the two teams to really grow and become relevant in the sport. I'm going to go over the current Major League Baseball divisions in both the American League and the National League, and then I'm going to reconstruct those divisions in a way to where they are favorable towards new rivalries between opposing teams in the sport of baseball. Let's go over how both the American League and National League are currently stacked up in all 6 divisions. So obviously, in the AL East, you have the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Rays, the Blue Jays, and the Orioles. Yankees, Red Sox, big rivalry. We know that. Other than that, it's a good division, but is there a rivalry to it? I would say no. AL Central, you got the Indians, the Tigers, the Royals, the Twins, and the White Sox. Is there a rivalry there? Not really. Maybe the Tigers and the White Sox, but that's about it. The AL West, you have the Angels, the Athletics, the Rangers, the Astros, and the Mariners. Now, the only rivalry I can see there is really the Rangers and the Astros, and that wasn't even a thing until the Astros went back to the American League in 2013. In the National League, the Eastern Division, you have the Mets, the Phillies, the Braves, the Nationals, and the Marlins. Now, the Mets and the Phillies, a great rivalry. I understand that. Even the Mets and the Braves have a good rivalry. And again, these rivalries are all predicated upon whether both teams are good or not. If one team's great and the other team sucks, then it's really not going to matter. But I think there's a way for Major League Baseball to make rivalries relevant, even if the two teams aren't the best teams in their division. But let's continue. You have the NL Central, the Cubs, the Cardinals, historic rivalry, going back many of years. One of the old school rivalries right up there with the Yankees and the Red Sox. You got the Brewers, the Pirates, and the Reds to round it out in the Central. Then in the West, you got the Dodgers, the Padres, the Giants, the Rockies, and the D-backs. The Dodgers and the Giants are a great rivalry, going back to their times in the boroughs of New York. Brooklyn for the Dodgers and New York for the Giants. Of course, you have the Dodgers and the Padres. A great rivalry being rejuvenated here in 2021. So that is great. That is wonderful. I love it. But I think Major League Baseball can do a better job in helping create these rivalries in the sport to grow the popularity, make baseball more appealing to the general and generic sports fan, create more TV opportunities on national networks, because national networks love to show games that have a bit of a rivalry to it or a bit of a hype around them. And I think rivalries creates hype, and hype creates interest. Interest creates revenue. How do you get revenue? Through TV deals. How do you get better TV deals? Through better TV views. How do you create better TV views? By putting on entertaining matchups between teams in baseball. And I know there's 162 games. It's not like football where you only play 16 and 17 games. I understand that. I get that. You play a lot of games. You play series. But I think there's a way for Major League Baseball to grow the sport via reconstructing the divisions to make it favorable to creating new and still maintaining old rivalries that are to interest to baseball fans and just fans in general who aren't necessarily a baseball fan but are just sports fans. So here are my suggestions for the newly vamped divisions. So let's start off in the newly vamped AL East. You have the Yankees, you'll have the Mets, you'll have the Red Sox, you'll have the Blue Jays, and you'll have the Tigers. The Yankees and the Mets. This one is obvious. You want to have two New York teams in the same division. That hasn't been done since the Giants and the Dodgers were in the National League together in Brooklyn and New York. So that would be really, really entertaining and fun, I would say, for Major League Baseball and for the fans of New York. And especially if the Yankees and the Mets are both good like they are right now, and they played each other 19 times in one season, that would be the best thing for baseball, especially for baseball in the New York and New England area. You still have the Yankees and the Red Sox rivalry, and you create a new rivalry between the Mets and the Red Sox. And then you move down to the Blue Jays and the Tigers. That would be a great rivalry. Why? Because Detroit is very close to the Canadian border. And I know the first city over from the Canadian border is Windsor, but a little bit farther east, you hit Toronto. And back in the day, in 1977, when the AL East did in fact have the Blue Jays and the Tigers in the same division, that was a great rivalry between the Tigers and the Blue Jays, because Blue Jays fans would drive on over to Detroit for a weekend to watch their Blue Jays play the Tigers, and vice versa. Detroit fans would go over to Toronto during the summer to go see their Tigers play the Blue Jays. So that would create new rivalries in that division and creates new hype. So there's my new AL East. If you move over to the newly vamped AL Central, I'll have the Indians, the Reds, the Twins, the Brewers, and the Braves. Now, the two rivalries here are obviously the Indians and the Reds, the two teams in the Buckeye State. That would be great. I don't know why this isn't a thing. The Indians and the Reds, two historic franchises. That would be a great rivalry. I'd love to see that. I mean, they share a spring training facility in Arizona. Why not be in the same division during the season? That would be awesome. Also, you would have the Twins and the Brewers, pretty close geographically as well. And the Braves, sometimes I had to make a hard decision and throw the Braves in there just to make the other divisions work. So that's my newly vamped AL Central. Indians, Reds, Twins, Brewers, and Braves. Next, let's go over to the AL West. You'll have the Athletics, the Giants, the Rockies, the Diamondbacks, and the Mariners. Now, the Athletics and the Giants. If the Athletics do in fact stay in Oakland, this would be awesome. I mean, they have faced each other in the World Series back in the 80s, but this would be awesome. The Athletics and the Giants, two Bay Area teams. I mean, why didn't baseball think of this when they moved the Athletics to Oakland and they moved the Giants to San Francisco? I don't understand why they didn't think of this, because this is a great rivalry waiting to happen. And they're always on national TV now when they do the few and far between interleague games and series between the Athletics and Giants. If they're in the same division facing off each other 19 times, that would create great buzz in the Bay Area for baseball. That would be awesome. Why not? Rockies and the Diamondbacks, you still got them, and you throw in the Mariners. I mean, the Mariners and the A's could have a really good rivalry going if the Mariners were actually good. So that's a positive there too. So I kept that little rivalry, if you want to call it, in that new AL West. So there is my newly vamped American League. Comment down below your thoughts on that new league and how I set the junior circuit up. Now let's move over to the newly vamped senior circuit, the National League. If we move over to the National League East, I got the Rays, the Marlins, the Nationals, the Orioles, and the Phillies. Now, look at it. I just created two new rivalries. I mean, you have two Florida teams. Why don't you have them in the same league? At least the same league. Put them in the same league, and then put them in the same division to make the rivalries relevant. Because if you just put them in the same league and you don't put them in the same division, it doesn't really work that well, because in the same division, you're going to face the team 19 times. That is a big plus if you want to create friction and relevance in the rivalry between the Rays and the Marlins. Again, permitting that the Rays would stay in Tampa, you'd create this newly vamped rivalry of these two Florida teams playing each other 19 times. In the playoffs, possibly. You never know. So there's that new rivalry I just made up. This is not hard. Baseball should be doing this right now. Another rivalry here. You got the Nationals and the Orioles. I mean, two close teams when it comes to geographics being DC and Baltimore. I mean, they're right there. So I'm trying to make it relevant based off of the geographics of where these teams are located in their respected cities. That's how you make the rivalries relevant. Easy access for the fans. Because, like I said, driving from Nationals Park to Camden Yards doesn't take a while, but driving from Camden Yards to Yankee Stadium, if you want to go catch your Orioles against the Yankees, that's a farther drive. I would like to create at least one rivalry where it's close geographically in each division, and I think I've done that. The NL Central, I would have the White Sox, the Cubs, the Pirates, the Cardinals, and the Royals. So in this division, I kept an old rivalry and created two brand new ones. The Cubs and the White Sox. Brand new, in the same city, but they've never been in the same league. I know both teams go back a very, very long time, but I kind of want to keep the Cubs in the National League. So I moved the White Sox over from the AL to the NL, but just kept them in the Central Division. Then I kept the Cubs and the Cardinals rivalry relevant, and I created a new one between the White Sox and the Cardinals. And then I created another new one in the Cardinals and the Royals, two Missouri teams in the same division finally. In the same league. This is what baseball needs. I know the Cardinals and the Royals has faced off in the World Series before, but let's be honest, that's few and far between. And baseball's very lucky that it happened in their history. It doesn't happen that often. I'd rather see same city teams play each other 19 times than hope and pray for them to face off in the Fall Classic once in a blue moon. In the NL West, I'll have the Dodgers, the Angels, the Padres, the Rangers, and the Astros. This division has rivalries all over it. The Dodgers and the Angels, again, two same city teams, LA Dodgers, LA Angels, Anaheim Angels, whatever, same thing, in the same division, in the same league, facing off each other 19 times. Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger. I mean, if you have the Dodgers and the Angels in the same division, I would assume they would be on national TV at least 13 out of the 19 times they play each other in the regular season for TV purposes and TV rating purposes. And I kept the newly vamped Dodgers and Padres rivalry. Now I know the Dodgers and the Giants rivalry is gone, which is very historic. I understand that, but I had to do something. So I thought creating a new rivalry between the Athletics and the Giants because of geographics would be more entertaining than the Dodgers and the Giants. Now, some of you may disagree with me, which I totally understand. Very historic, but I tried my best. And you got the Rangers and the Astros. I kept that rivalry going. I know it's only a rivalry, both teams are good, but I can't help if the Rangers suck. I would say the minimum baseball can do is set up the divisions to where if in fact same city teams are good, they can play each other and will play each other 19 times in a regular season. That creates buzz for the fans of baseball and general sports fans. And I think this newly vamped divisional setup will create positive feedback and make baseball relevant and entertaining again to the casual fan, not just diehard baseball fans like you and me out there. You gotta get the casual sports fan back into baseball, and I think this is how you do it. This is a great thing, I think, for Major League Baseball. I feel my newly constructed divisions to where you have a lot of rivalries set up between inner-city and interstate teams make it more appealing to national broadcasting networks like CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox, ESPN, and others, because they will see that, hey, instead of having baseball night in America, you can have baseball weekend in America, where you show all the big rivalry games every weekend. Have a rivalry week where you pick 1 week out of the year. You have all these teams who are in the newly vamped divisions play each other in 1 or 2 week spans at certain times and certain points in the season, and put them all on national TV broadcast on different networks, not just Fox, not just ESPN on Sunday nights. Have a week event. Do it during the 4th of July. Do it during that weekend. Do it the week before the All-Star weekend. Have all these rivalry games on national networks, because that's entertaining, and that is what is appealing to not only the fans, but big corporate television networks. That's what I would do if I was Major League Baseball. Comment down below your thoughts on my newly vamped divisions for Major League Baseball. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So that's all I got for today's video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video. I would appreciate it. Tell your friends about these videos and my channel. Hit the red button. It's free, and I will catch you later.